Hello, my name is Stefan Lindberg-Jones. I'm a professional life coach and mentor. Welcome to this coaching session, which was taken from my TikTok live that goes out every single day, where people come on and talk about what they're facing on their life journey, how they see it. Now, today's one is very interesting because he doesn't introduce himself. He just says, I'm suffering from anxiety. And also you can hear, and that's what the skill of coaching is all about, listening. You can hear in the background and he's rustling and he's feeling uncomfortable, and by the words that he's saying. So enjoy this clip and hope you gain some insight into anxiety.
I have anxiety. First thing to say, very important.
Hi, anxiety. How are you?
No, my name.
Where is anxiety? You said you have anxiety. Where is he? Where is he? How does he show up?
What the? Oh my god, I can't with this thing.
The energy that I bring with my sessions, sometimes it's a way of making people come out of their head. You know, I've got someone who's showing up that's anxious. So I try to put them at ease by bringing some energy just to take them out of their head. The words that I'm saying is just to distract them so they can feel at ease. As soon as they come out of their head, then they're not overthinking. They're not focusing on what they're anxious about. You can't what?
First off, my name. My name is Valen. That's my nickname. And
Valid.
then,
Nice to meet you, Valid.
no, Valen. V-A-L-E-N.
Valen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the anxiety? I'm in this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Something about my head. Something about my head. This is freakish for me.
What?
Even though I've been through many lives, maybe we could just conclude it because this is like a sophisticated sort of like.
No, let's lean into it. Lean into that awkwardness. Feel it. Feel it.
Bruh.
There you can hear how the mind is thinking, this feels awkward, this feels uncomfortable. Let's try and focus on something else. Let's arrange another time. A lot of people do this. And what happens is that they build all these uncomfortable feelings within inside of themselves. And what happens? Anytime that you get a moment by yourself, you feel uncomfortable because you've literally overloaded yourself with different types of feelings. You've avoided literally looking into a box that might reveal something about you and the feeling that you're avoiding. I say sometimes is the fact that when we feel uncomfortable being alone with ourselves, it's like when we move into a house and you fill the house with all these boxes that you've moved from the other place. And you haven't bothered to unpack. So they're always there. So when you go into the house, you feel uncomfortable. You feel, do I have to go through all this? Let's leave it and let's leave. And that's why we surround ourselves with a lot of noise to avoid being on our own, by avoiding looking in these boxes, sorting out these boxes. It's easier, and that's as a coach to, not easier, it's work, it's hard work. If we literally look at that box, open up that box of anxiety and see what's coming from that box, empty it. So then we can throw the box away. So it's my job to literally get him to focus on that anxiety. Where's it coming from? Where is that box lying? Feel it. Embrace it. Don't run away from it. You know this feeling is like you're stepping out of your comfort zone. This is, I'm so proud.
I do that already.
Yeah, that's great.
Comfort.
So let's lean into it. Where's it coming from? Where do you get that feeling?
Where is it coming from?
Yeah.
This device, the specificity is of requirement, and it's a huge amount of specificity. You call it like like a detailed specification for to find a book in a library, and then like it's a really detailed one, so that lengths of words to explain this thing, but it is an entire sentence, and it goes something like this. So being in my room, we could even put it in a book, and it's like in numbered checklists from one until whatever amount. Talking with this device, and I'm also there's no camera button, so it wouldn't open me. Uh, I usually open my camera. I have a flight of mind, and then my my first information that I declared is I have anxiety. My second information, per every word it declares a sentence. That sentence will conclude or outline of a statement.
Do you understand what he's saying? I didn't. But what's interesting is, isn't it funny how the mind just wants to confuse us? Let's just throw loads of jargon. To avoid doing the hard work and getting us to focus on the issue at hand, let's fill our minds with so much jargon, so many big words, so many different descriptions that when we hear it, we go, really? No, let's leave that box there. Seems like too much hard work, because the mind is just filling my head with all these images and words, etc., etc. And you'll be able to hear how I react at the end of this. Blah, 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 blah.
So my second thing, my mind is I have an elephant mind, but it also I also have a universe up in there. And then I'm having to shake my head all around. Like I don't want to really look. And just so you know, I remember on the top of my head, that is an uncomfortable distance of call via device, technology. A normal setting, face to face, is called a social circle. You have your personal one, yeah. But something like that, I am backing off my phone so far. I'm here because I want help, and also I'm protecting all of you. That is a questionable.
So what you're saying is that your phone gives you anxiety after all that.
Something like that. Yeah.
After all that,
Around this, it's like a secret.
after all that, it's literally your phone that's giving you anxiety, and it's having to deal with everything that comes with the phone.
Um,
And it's like a trigger. There, you can see. I put it in layman's terms for him to understand. Then the mind just stood still, literally moved away, and literally I connected with the heart. Because I put it in simple terms, rather than what the mind was doing to confuse him. I put it into layman terms, and that's why you get that space where he's trying to work it out. Well, actually, he's not trying to work it out. It's just like, yeah, you're right.
I'm kind of bored. I kind of need help.
I hear the voice in your head. It's very strong. It's very dictating. It's very controlling.
Whoa.
What is deeper than that? Have you ever silenced that and just listened deeper?
Crap. No, I don't want to do that because it's In my point of view, is currently destructive
Yeah, your head's.
tornado volcano blowing up inside my head,
No,
and
I know. There you go. I was asking the head for permission to go deeper, to connect with the heart. And the head went, no, 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 you can't go there, you can't go there. There might be things that we might find that will make me feel even more uncomfortable. Let's see where we go with this. I hear it. I hear it. As I said, it sounds like a dictator that's really, really in control.
I am Asian.
Doesn't mean anything. You know, that's your dictatorship. That's literally coming up with any excuse to avoid the subject that we could actually go down. It's going to throw everything. You know, that whole description was amazing, but it was all in your head.
Duh. That does it for practically. Wait, that is me in a nutshell.
But how is it helping you? You know, this head of yours.
It's not helping, duh.
No, I know.
I want to try.
When are you going to start?
On my mind. It's all up in your head.
When are you going to start taking control of that? When are you going to stand up to it? When are you going to say, that's not me? When are you going to be the observer and not react to it? When are you going to be the observer and not say the words that it wants you to say?
Oh, jeez. When?
Because we can do that. We can be the observer. We don't have to say anything that it comes up with. We can just observe and just admire the I can't even say the words. Admire the words that it comes up with. The descriptions that it comes up with.
I am under the weather.
Now you can feel the frustration from him. And I get tough. Now I'm going to start talking to the head and make the head realize that, look, what you're doing isn't helping. And I'm going to talk deeper to the heart and say, look, when are you going to start taking control? I'm going to start talking to the real person. I'm going to get tough with both of them.
Or like the energy that is specifically my type of ADHD is under the weather.
It was a powerful thing when I read The Untethered Soul. If you haven't come across it, go and find that book. The author doesn't come to mind at the moment, but The Untethered Soul. It was an eye-opener for me to understand that this little voice in our head is not us. It's from the programming from when we were younger, from our parents, from our teachers, from our community and the experiences that we had as a child. And with a lot of my sessions, it's making the client or guest aware that that little voice is not you. You can observe it, but you don't have to say everything that it says you should say, because generally it doesn't really understand the effect it will have with you saying what it's coming up with. It's not thinking about the other person, it's just thinking about itself, like the ego. It just is trying to protect itself. It's trying to put itself on other people. And that isn't good. That isn't healthy. What kind of weather are we talking about? Is it raining? Is there thunder? Dark clouds?
Thunder?
Is there sunshine? What kind of weather?
Possibly the one that would like a lonely person could be outside, but it's raining. Yeah, that type with all of the atmosphere. Yeah, all of the parts, all of it. Like like a deepening, saddening, something like that.
And how does that make you feel?
It hurts.
Where? Here you can see the mind just scrambling for any excuse not to do the work. It's even given itself a label. And a lot of the time, our minds love labels because that means it's an excuse not to do anything. Someone's given me a label, so I don't have to do anything. This is me. So I can't excuse myself. I'm just living with this label. I'm not going to experiment with myself because someone's given me a label. I'm not going to work out what I'm all about because someone's given me a label. And that's what you're hearing now. He's making excuses not to do the work, not to go deeper. And I'm pushing him. I'm going, okay, well, if this is what you're coming up with, let's explore that. Let's see what the meaning is, what the purpose is with everything that you're throwing out there.
Wait, what do you mean where?
Where does it hurt? You're saying it hurts. Whereabouts?
Oh, in my mind.
Whereabouts in your mind?
What the? I can't. I am too tired. I'm doing fasting. I'm a Muslim.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm here to be by your side. I'm here to hold your hand. Just take a few deep breaths. Let's find where that hurt comes from in your head.
I'm also a technological geek. Wait, no, I don't know.
That's nice. I don't. That's great. I'm very proud of you, but I'm still wanting to know where that hurt is coming from in the back of your head, or in your head.
Anywhere.
What's going on? What's showing up?
Distractions are important.
What kind of distractions?
I don't know, but it's something. That's a line. That's a saying. I don't know. If
I heard it. I heard it just come out.
What's a distraction? Oh.
What
does this mean?
What?
I'm not gonna press enter in my Google that is in front of my.
What happens? What happens when you don't say anything? How does the mind react when it wants you to say something?
What happens?
As you can hear, as I'm playing with the mind, I'm asking it to go deeper without it realizing I'm asking it to go deeper by asking about the feelings. Because now I know that the mind comes from here, it has to go deep down here to figure out where these feelings are. So then there can be much more appreciation about the body it's ignored up to now. And why the noise? Why do you have to keep on filling the noise? Why do you have to keep on filling the space with noise? What happens when you don't say anything? What shows up?
Well, I haven't tried that. It's too risky.
No, it's not too risky. That's where you start taking control. Just give the silence, give the space. Don't fill it. Don't fill it. Again, just be the observer. That space is powerful. That space is amazing to watch.
Hello. this is so good. I have a pillow now. Distraction is the enemy of vision. I just googled that because it's a Google suggestion.
The mind is squirming, and now I'm asking him to try to observe the mind rather than keep on repeating everything that the mind's coming up with. Now I'm asking him to observe what it's coming up with, to be the observer, not to repeat, to give space. What happens when you don't repeat the words the mind wants you to repeat? How will it react? So now we're becoming the observer. Interesting. Hey, this is conversations between you and me, not Google. We don't need Google. Google's a distraction, as you said. You're filling the space with Google. That isn't where we want to go. Google won't know what's going on in your mind. There you can hear. He's trying to avoid leaning in, exploring, going deeper by going on his laptop and searching Google and coming up with different answers rather than doing the work for himself.
Oh, crap. You little... What if... Man. She shot down. Dang. Oh, really complicated.
I'm going to leave you, but I want you to observe that space, and I want you to keep on practicing giving that space. So here I leave it with the guest to literally go away, think about what's been said, if he was even listening. But there were spaces. There were spaces where he took on the information. So the work happens after a session, when there's reflection, when there's contemplation about how am I showing up. What is this voice? The curiosity, leaning into the feelings that are showing up and being the observer of that voice in our head, and learning not to react every time it wants us to say something or do something.
Giving
yourself space, not filling it with words, not filling it with sounds, not filling it, feeling the agitation. Be the observer. Experiment. You don't have to act with what comes up in your mind. And I want you to start tuning into what's deeper, what's coming up deeper than the one that's always in your head. Will you do that for me?
Ooh, crap. I set it as an objective inside my iPad. Wait, no, my tablet.
Okay.
Oh,
and then
to like fill space in my mind, right? Something.
Not to fill space, to give space. You fill the space on a daily basis. You fill the space every second by making noises, by saying what's coming up in your mind. Just give the space. Say nothing. Just observe.
Oh, really? Oh my God.
And maybe rather than say it, just write it down. Don't say anything. Get a pen and paper and just put whatever comes up in your head.
Yeah. Great. I could probably have a library inside my room.
You could, I'm sure you could create your own library. And pictures, why not create some pictures?
Life. Dang. Give.
All right, my man, I'm going to leave you there, but you come back to me in a few days, all right? And tell me how you're getting on.
Okay.
All right, you take care of yourself.
Thanks.
So I hope you enjoyed this little clip of one of my guests on my TikTok Live. And remember, please come and join me on TikTok Live. I'm there every single day to help people on their life journey, wherever they are, whatever situation they're going through. I'm there as a shoulder to lean on, to be the observer, to reflect back what I can hear and what I can't hear, what I can see and what I can't see. You know, from a different perspective. You know, the person generally is seeing it from where they're standing, but having someone by their side opens up a different observation, a different viewpoint, and that helps you to see things differently, reveals your blind spots. So please come and join me on my TikTok Live. But if you're not on TikTok, which a lot of people I've talked to say, I'm not on TikTok, then please hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel so you won't miss any of these coaching sessions. And also I'm going to be giving you tools on helping you look after yourself on this journey called life. Have a great day. All the best. Bye-bye.